on an all-new Dr. Phil. Somebody's going to point a finger saying, you can't post that.
Offended, offended, offended.
Why can't I share my thoughts on social media? I'm constantly being shut down.
There are even people who say that emojis should not be used anymore. Thumbs up. Younger Americans claim it's rude, passive-aggressive, and dismissive. You got to have a lot of free time to get pissed off about this. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Well, we've all been there. Somebody says something we don't like online, and so we jump on our social media accounts and pop off by clicking away, clapbacks on our laptops or cell phones, our computers, whatever. With every social media post, we open ourselves up to being criticized and judged, right? As a result, 62% of people admit to self-censoring out of fear of getting canceled. Did y'all know that? 62% of people. Now, this conversation of censorship and cancel culture made recent headlines again with the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk for $44 billion. He said that he would allow all speech that the First Amendment protects on Twitter. But is there really freedom of speech on social media? There are critics who say social media posts do not give people the right to share hate speech, and that inappropriate behavior should also be censored. There are even people who go so far as to say that emojis, such as thumbs up and the red heart, should not be used anymore. Some emojis are being canceled, and we're going to find out why later in the show. Which brings me to this question. Just because we believe we have the freedom to express a belief or opinion online, should we? I'm going to call on you guys throughout the hour to weigh in on this, so be ready. I do want to hear from you. But first, not only does my first guest, Kimberly, believe in freedom of speech, she also claims she's suing the University of Tennessee for attempting to expel her after spying on her social media post. Take a look.
I am suing my university because they have violated my rights to free speech. This all sort of started back in 2019. I got an email just saying, we're bringing this case against you before the professionalism committee. So initially it was just an Instagram post that had sort of set things off. And they scrolled through my whole page, said, oh, well, this is sexual. They give me a warning. Not even a year later, got another email. Same stuff. They just sent me pictures, didn't tell me what I did wrong. I asked them, okay, well, why can't I say these things? No response. And then they said they wanted to dismiss me from the program. I had to go through a whole appeal to our dean. I don't know if she necessarily agreed with me, but she allowed me to stay and said, hey, just try to keep your social media as private as possible. I'm not doing these things on the clock while at work. Once I'm off the clock in my home, leave me alone. It's so important to me to just have my voice because people that look like me are often told, be quiet, stay in the back. I wanted to move forward and sue them so they know not to mess with me and don't do this again to anyone else.
Now, you posted some stuff on the internet. Was it Instagram?
It was Instagram and Twitter that was brought to me by the board.
Okay, and how did they get a hold of it?
I still do not know to this day.
Supposedly somebody took it to them.
Correct.
Okay, now, suffice it to say, it was edgy.
In some people's opinion, yes.
Well, yeah, it was lyrics, right?
Yeah, some of what I posted to Twitter were song lyrics, and then to my Instagram, it's mostly photos, and I believe they did not like the way I was dressed, but no specifics were really given to me.
This happened twice, right? They actually sent you a letter once, and then the second time suspended you.
Right. So to back up, I matriculated into the program in the fall of 2019.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one week, I get a letter saying that I have to have a board meeting due to my unprofessional social media. But no specifics were given as to what they found to be unprofessional. And everything was just very vague. So they did that and then let me go with a warning in 2019. So I'm thinking, okay, everything's okay. Moving forward, we come back for our second year. And once again, I get an email saying we have to have a professionalism committee meeting because reports were made against me due to my social media. And this time they voted to expel me from the program. And so I did not accept that whatsoever. And I immediately started to research and see about how I could get that overturned.
Then you get contacted by the dean on the appeal and say you're not suspended and
Correct.
you're back in.
Correct.
Okay. But now you're filing suit.
Yes, just to protect myself, because at that point, it was the second time in my second year that they had tried to impose restrictions against me, and I didn't want it to continue.
So you think that this was censorship on their part?
Absolutely. Despite whether a student had a problem with what I posted on social media, I believed the school should have stopped it there and not imposed such restrictions. If a student wanders onto my personal social media, they have the right to click off. It was not presented to them.
So your position is professionals can be professional and conduct themselves one way in one environment, and then when they're on their own, they can go do whatever they want to do.
To a certain extent, I do believe we should still operate within the confines of the law and uphold professional standards as long as it is not invasive.
They engaged you in 2019. Did you continue to post what material they were calling into question after that?
Well, it was never made clear exactly what the issue was. They brought me into the meeting. They said, this is inappropriate. This is inappropriate. I asked in what way. That question was never answered. I also asked the specific policy that I broke by posting these things, and that also was never made clear and provided to me. And so I was left guessing what they would consider offensive. And I think it's important to note that just because someone is offended by something doesn't mean that it's inherently offensive. And so if they were unable to make that clear distinction to me, it's almost impossible to mind read to know what I can and cannot post.
Kimberly has a supporter who says she has the right to say whatever it is she wants to say. And we're going to talk to him next. We'll be right back.
These agents of the government say, we don't think you're sufficiently professional, and we're not really going to explain it, and now you're expelled. If the government has the power to do that to you, that's a scary place to live.
And later, they're going after emojis now.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
Just because people miscommunicate, we should remove communication?
Right.
Not at all
Right.
whatsoever.
Like, that sounds like
That's what they
a
want.
you problem, not a us problem.
Coming January 21st.
The Samuels are looking to the D word, divorce, separate, something like that.
Did they say divorce or separate?
What?
We just had a whole show prep with our producer, and no one told me we was gonna bring us up live on the air today.
She says that her and her husband are trying to fix their marriage and denying any divorce rumors.
All marriages go through stuff. Does that mean we're separated or getting divorced? Absolutely not.
Love and Marriage DC. New episodes Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
This is Marianne's first time visiting Paris.
Madame, où allez-vous?
Before Marianne packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, before she completed her first 15-minute lesson,
Yes.
she downloaded Babbel. Babbel helped unlock her lifelong dream of learning French. She started speaking in just 3 weeks. So when it came time to tell the cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
J'espère que votre voyage s'est bien passé.
150 language experts and educators designed Babbel to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language. Babbel focuses on natural conversation. You'll remember what you learn, and you can speak and pronounce with confidence. Start speaking a new language in 3 weeks. Try it for free at Babbel.com.
Johan and I are supposed to get married tomorrow, and I'm feeling really uneasy.
Yo no sé qué es tu intención.
Si tú tienes tu duda, no te cases.
90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise, tonight at 8 on TLC.
All these young, untimely deaths.
For your kid, fame can be poisonous.
He shared with me something, how I hesitate to even say it.
Price of Glee, 3-part limited series, next Monday at 9 on ID.
Do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? You gonna go back home or not? You gonna claim your throne or not? Is you Khaleesi or that other name I don't remember?
Let the chips fall where they may.
Tension's gonna fly.
Everybody's dating each other, but everybody knows they're dating each other.
Your directness is getting out of hand.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
If you're looking for a man, say amen.
Amen.
There are some things that I've heard.
It's so embarrassing. Okay, sweetheart. Next.
I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central.
It was actually the survey from 2020 by the Cato Institute which showed that 62% of Americans self-censor who are afraid to sort of express their political views on specific topics. And I think it shows this paradox. Americans enjoy the strongest legal constitutional protection of free speech probably in world history, but they still fear the consequences of being fired for speaking out on certain political issues.
Well, we're back assessing the growing number of Americans who say they're starting to fight back against self-censoring and watching what they say on social media and the internet to avoid being publicly criticized, attacked, or canceled. Now, I would first like to add to the conversation Robert Shibley, who is the Senior Fellow and former Executive Director of the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, otherwise known as FIRE, and an attorney at Allen Harris Law Firm. And also joining us virtually is Jessica Levinson, an attorney and a professor of law at Loyola Law School. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Robert, let me start with you. This really confounds me. We have this great freedom of speech, but then we seem to start getting in our own way. What's this about?
Well, you're right to be concerned about the erosion of freedom of speech. And even though we continue to have very strong legal rights to freedom of speech, those don't really mean anything if people don't feel free to actually engage in it. And I think part of the reason is that having freedom of speech is unusual in the sense of history and culturally. And it makes people uncomfortable, especially when you are exposed on social media to so many different kinds of people and so many different kinds of views that you might not be used to in your own, in your own neighborhood, among your own family. And so seeing those is uncomfortable for people. And so it's natural for people to be uncomfortable with hearing from people or seeing messages from people that aren't like them. But if we're going to have a diverse, democratic society, we need to be able to handle that kind of thing and have that tolerance.
We are a society with free speech, but there are limits to this. Jessica, what are the limits to the free speech?
So that's a great question. And of course, in the Constitution, it says there shall be no law. But what we really mean is that we want a robust freedom of expression with a lot of exceptions. So one exception, which you just pointed to, is incitement. Another is something called fighting words. And we can understand why those exceptions are there. The same thing with respect to, for instance, defamation, where we're trying to balance living in a society where we do support free expression and free exchange of ideas, even if we get hurt feelings, because we think that censorship from the government is a greater harm than hurt feelings. But we also want to, for instance, when it comes to incitement, fighting word, defamation, we do want to protect individuals, even if it sometimes means the government saying you don't get to say that.
Yeah, and that's just good public policy. too. I mean, common law follows from good public policy. And even though this is constitutional, we are saying, like when we talk about incitement, you can't say things that incite people to violence. But when we're talking about a situation like Kimberly here, where she's not trying to incite people, she's not defaming anyone, she's not talking about anybody at all. There's no object that she's aiming at. She's just talking about herself. She's just being expressive. And
correct.
Some people might say, well, I wouldn't say that, so I don't want you to say that. That's where the problem arises.
Over the years, we'd seen a lot of cases where students were being punished for saying things online or saying things that offended people, but it had nothing to do with their ability to be a student, to be professional in their workplaces, and we've seen the abuse of these professionalism standards that, like Kim indicated, they might say, well, this isn't professional. Well, what about it isn't professional? Well, it's kind of a matter of opinion. And so particularly for the University of Tennessee's health science campus, which is an agency of the government, to say like, well, the government, these agents of the government say, we don't think you're sufficiently professional and we're not really going to explain it, and now you're expelled. If the government has the power to do that to you, they have the power to, really change and take away your, your right to get a job, your ability to have a career without, any real restrictions on them at all, in just a purely arbitrary fashion. And that's a scary place to live.
Well,
and I'll just note here, to this day,
please.
None of my patients have asked me for my social media before vetting me as their pharmacist.
Yeah.
Before they pick up their medication. They do not ask for my Instagram handle. So, it's just ridiculous that I'm being held to this impossible standard.
What do you guys think? If you got a comment about this, raise your hand. Okay, go ahead.
Firstly, I'd like to say good job to Kimberly for standing up for yourself. Honestly, this is amazing because they are going outside of the scope. Secondly, as a stand-up comedian, I always like when people stand up to things like censorship, because if you do not believe in the freedom of speech for those you disdain, you do not believe in the freedom of speech. And as a comedian, being censored means that there's a slippery slope to the art you can create and the words you can put out. And so that's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah. Thank you for your support.
Do you tell jokes on campus?
I do. I go to a lot of colleges, and there are a lot of times where colleges have rules, and that pertains to the college itself. And you can be aware and sensitive, but still not censor yourself. I'm a comedian, not a caterer. I don't cater to the crowd. I do comedy and perform comedy for the crowd.
Are there jokes you can't tell on campus?
There are things and topics that they ask us not to talk about. And of course, I'm very sensitive to locations that I'm at. And Kimberly said something very vital when she explained that being offensive is a matter of judgment. So just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. But on the flip side, just because someone's offensive doesn't mean it's funny. The thin line in between, that's where great comedy lies. That's where you're allowed to be sex positive and express yourself on your personal time as much as you want. That's how I feel. Everyone has nipples, Dr. Phil. Everyone has nipples. Who's decided that one nipple is more offensive than the other? That's a slippery slope.
What's a topic that you've been asked not to talk about at a university?
Some instances where I see viral videos where someone is clearly racist or homophobic or anything nasty, and then the video goes viral, they lose their job, I'm like, score.
Losing your job, I mean, how does that help somebody be redeemed?
And later...
My name is Alex, and I am widely known on the internet for my rants. You guys get mad at me, but I don't care.
You get pretty animated.
I do. Everyone nowadays is so PC, nervous about offending anyone, and I'm the opposite.
Do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? You gonna go back home or not? You gonna claim your throne or not? Is you Khaleesi or that other name I don't remember?
Coming January 21st.
I'm back. Life has been pretty busy for winter. No more Kevin. Kevin is gone.
Your new song.
A new hit.
The new song. What is
Listen,
it? Tell me about the song.
It's centered around gutter Barbies.
Gutter Barbie.
Yes.
What's that?
In the midst of my frustrations, I referred to Arena and Ashley as gutter Barbies.
Love and Marriage DC. New episodes Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Tensions gonna fly.
Everybody's dating each other, but everybody knows they're dating each other.
Your directness is getting out of hand.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
If you're looking for a man, say amen.
Amen. There are some things that I've heard.
It's so embarrassing. Okay, sweetheart.
Next. I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central.
With Acorns, every time you spend, you invest. Buying a hot dog? That's investing. Getting gas? That's investing. Getting treats? That's investing. Start investing with just your spare change.
Over 100 million Americans have a low credit score. Self is a new way to build credit that doesn't require a credit score. Plus, Self helps you save money every month and reports your payments to all 3 credit bureaus. Download the app today.
It's the end of the day and you're tired. We understand.
Move it!
We're taking over. Adult Swim. Must-have watch TV. Weeknights starting at 8 p.m. We'll keep you company while you do the things you hate.
He fooled everybody. Please don't let him have hurt somebody.
What did you do first?
My mother.
Why?
Because I wanted her to hear.
Evil Lives Here, all new season, Sunday, January 22nd at 9, followed by Signs of a Psychopath, all new season on ID.
I think it's my time to find love.
I want to date younger men.
I'm as sexual as I was in my teens.
Where's all the men at?
Here we go.
It just got real.
Egypt and Mike are back to business.
Winning.
Balancing project bids.
Offer accepted.
And busy kids.
Here we go.
This team tackles it all.
You can do that.
I can do anything.
Yeah.
Married to Real Estate premieres Thursday at 9 on HGTV.
What's a topic that you've been asked not to talk about at a university?
Well, there's a lot of sensitivities towards sex, LGBTQIA community, religion, politics. I mean, the list, basically they're saying don't do comedy. That's literally what they're saying. Don't do comedy. That happens a lot.
Well, that kind of sucks for a comedian.
It does. It does. It is making us more creative. We should never, ever, as comedians, be going for the low-hanging fruit to begin with. And comedy has evolved, but at the same time, that slippery slope, that pendulum goes too far, then you see a lot of performative actions and not of real thought and freedom of expression.
So there's a line there on when you're entertaining, you're being funny, or you're being offensive, and then who's offended.
By the way, this is Gabrielle Gambrell, who is the professor at NYU and says hate speech and inappropriate behavior should be censored on social media, right?
I do believe in, I'm extremely in favor of the First Amendment, to be clear. I broadcast background, media background, I believe in the First Amendment. But we have seen things that happen when social media is not censored. The horrific incident that happened in Buffalo, the individual that shot up the supermarket in Buffalo, New York, had tremendous amounts of things on his social media that should have triggered some people saying, hey, this guy should not have access to legally get a firearm. So in certain instances where it's harmful, in certain instances where it can hurt people, where there's negative intent, there should be censorship. In some instances where I see viral videos where someone is clearly racist or homophobic or anything nasty, and then the video goes viral, they lose their job, I'm like, score. Because that person does not deserve to have this title which they can impact certain communities. They need to work on themselves. What I do truly believe in is redemption. There's opportunity to learn, to be better, to not harm people.
Well, wouldn't losing your job, I mean, how does that help somebody be redeemed as opposed to just teach them that, oh, well, if you express yourself, you are going to be punished?
Excellent point.
I mean, by setting up this situation where that when somebody does say these things, that's what triggers the punishment, and that, you know, often that punishment is you know, something that is very destructive to them rather than something that's educational to them. We're not convincing them. We are convincing them that they need to keep things underground.
And that's why I think cancel culture should be counsel culture, not cancel culture. That's when you should go to that person and say, listen, I think you should know that what you're doing is offensive, and I want to talk to you about it. I want to give you a chance to learn my point of view. I want to give you some information here. Read this, listen to this. Maybe we can find some common ground here.
Absolutely.
It should be counsel culture, not cancel culture. All right, we're going to have to take a break. We're going to meet a woman who says she has been shut down by social media platforms for what she posts online. But she's not afraid of cancel culture and will continue posting whatever she wants to her millions of viewers. We'll talk to her next.
I'm constantly thrown off Instagram for just saying I don't like masks. It's just my opinion. Why can't we all just have an opinion?
Closed captioning provided by...
All these young, untimely deaths.
For your kid, fame can be poisonous.
He shared with me something. I would hesitate to even say it.
Price of Glee, 3-part limited series. Next Monday at 9 on ID.
It's the end of the day and you're tired. We understand.
Move it!
We're taking over. Adult Swim. Must-have watch TV. Weeknights starting at 8 p.m. We'll keep you company while you do the things you hate.
My most important kitchen tool? My brain. So I choose Nariva Plus. Unlike some others, Nariva Plus is a multitasker supporting 6 key indicators of brain health to help keep me sharp. Nariva, think bigger.
Slotomania presents Slotomania's New Year's celebration. Download now to receive 1 million free coins, a free piggy, and we'll multiply your first 23 wins with a new 2023 multiplier. Slotomania. What will today spin?
People gonna talk in D.C.
Yo, we coming.
They're claiming the Samuels are looking to divorce.
Him and his dad are not speaking.
Wait. Welcome.
We're gonna be out on our own little island. It's called peace.
I'm gonna go before I whip your
The
ass.
sisterhood just went out the window.
I'm back. Then own them.
And again, and again, and again.
Love and Marriage DC returns Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Tension's gonna fly.
Everybody's dating each other, but everybody knows they're dating each other.
Your directness is getting out of hand.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
If you're looking for a man, say amen.
There are some things that I've heard.
So embarrassing. Okay, sweetheart. Next.
I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central.
Do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? You gonna go back home or not? You gonna claim your throne or not? Is you Khaleesi or that other name I don't remember?
Johan and I are supposed to get married tomorrow, and I'm feeling really uneasy. Yo no sé qué es tu intención.
Si tú tienes tu duda, no te cases.
90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise, tonight at 8 on TLC.
They dominate renovations. Now Twin Titans clash for real estate supremacy. With one rule. There are none. Legacies are on the line. Game on. Brother versus Brother. Premieres Wednesday at 9 on HGTV.
I just want to bring something else up because I know you guys are get mad at me, but I don't care. When they were like promoting Black-owned restaurants, I was like, are you serious? You think I'm gonna go to a restaurant just because it's owned by a Black person? The stupid woke-ass like white people are like doing this. I don't give a if you're purple, let me see your product. I'll see if I'd like to purchase it. Why are we separating skin colors?
Well, we're having an open discussion about self-censoring on social media and the internet, which has become a huge issue within the turbulent past few years. Americans seem to be fighting back, pushing back against some of this, and there's always this pendulum effect. There's always the backlash when things go too far. Now, some of my guests today say they're tired of looking over their shoulders and watching their words out of fear that somebody's going to pounce, somebody's going to point a finger and publicly attack them, saying, you can't post that. Well, my next guest, Alex, says she can relate, as she has been criticized and canceled for years for her social media content, which you just saw a sample of, and she refuses to stop posting her beliefs. Take a look.
My name is Alex, and I am widely known on the internet for my rants. Cancel culture ruins everything. It ruins free speech, it ruins honesty, it ruins comedy. Some of my rants have gone viral, over 4.5 million views. Do you think people in like France are doing beachy waves? Like, it's not the vibes. I have a jewelry line. As a small business owner, I was really, really upset when the COVID lockdowns happened. I do not like a mask. I will not wear a mask. People were just going along with whatever the government said. Because I refuse to spread the lies of the woke left's agenda, my Instagram has been shut down 4 times and my Twitter was shut down once. I lost 130,000 followers. I get death threats, smearing me, slandering me, but I don't care and I'm never gonna shut up. The stuff that I see is like so over the top, dude. Like, these people will never amount to anything if they are offended by anything. Offended, 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 like legitimately. They think that they're ruining me, but they're not. My business has grown 4 or 5 times because I fight back. The woke mob and cancel culture have just created a very weak, offended generation of fake victims. I will keep speaking out my opinions and the truth because I know it's right. So there's this white girl, and she's sitting there, and she, of course, she like has her like mask on or whatever, like right below her chin, so like people know she has a mask, you know? She's like, not anywhere without the mask. Okay, and she's like, so I have these little tiny hairs, and I don't want to call them baby hairs because I don't know if that's like gonna offend anyone. I'm like, wait, what? We're offending babies now? I don't get it. And she's like, but you know, they really need to be like straightened. They really need to be straightened. I don't know if there's like some kind of like hair product I can use. I was thinking about using a black hair product, but I don't know. Like, is that gonna? I don't know if that will offend any black people out there if I use a black hair product. Bitch, do you think a black person cares what kind of hair product you're using? Like, do you think anyone gives a that much about you? I'm done.
Well,
Hi.
You get pretty animated.
I do. I'm a social media influencer and I don't follow the mainstream. I feel like everyone nowadays is so PC. They are so nervous about offending anyone, and I'm the opposite. Constantly thrown off of Instagram. This is my 4th account on Instagram that I've had for just asking a question, for just saying, I don't like masks. I say what I want to say. Why can't we all say what we want to say? I'm not saying, let's make fun of an individual person, or let's incite violence. Nothing, it's just my opinion. Why can't we all just have an opinion?
Well, here's a video that Alex posted on TikTok about her dislike for beachy waves, which I wasn't sure what that was. Because it's certainly not anything I ever have to make a choice about. And it had 4.4 million views. Take a look.
What the is with the beachy waves? I'm going to help you. Honestly, it's like, you are so embarrassing, like out there. Please don't do beachy waves anymore. If you are a hairstylist, they do like this thing where they turn everything and then they leave the end straight. Don't screenshot that! Do you think people in like France are doing beachy waves? Like, it's not the vibe. Stop! My God, I can't stand the beachy wave. It infuriates me. Like, I'm going to literally, like, I'm gonna go with the scissor and like cut every beachy wave off. Like, I hate beachy waves. I hate it. It's so tacky. Stop. See, I have an opinion about everything, and everyone is so easily offended.
Is there like a beachy wave underground or something?
Apparently.
I'm looking around to see if anybody here has beachy waves.
No. Look at Robin. No, we're not. No, she does not.
So, you've been canceled for what? What was the last thing you got canceled about? Why does anybody care what you think about that?
because they watch me and they like me.
But, I mean, you don't have any expertise in that, so...
It's common sense. It's common sense.
Closed captioning provided by...
We love our pets, but we don't always love their hair, which is why we made Bounce Pet Hair and Lint Guard. With 3 times the pet hair fighting ingredients, just 1 sheet helps remove pet hair from your clothes. Looking good starts in the dryer with Bounce Pet.
Kids can change minds. They can even change the world around us. Packed with protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, we nourish them with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Because today could change everything.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base.
That's what Grandpa used to play.
When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Captions service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you. Call 1-800-690-9813. That's 1-800-690-9813.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Tension's gonna fly.
Everybody's dating each other, but everybody knows they're dating each other.
Your directness is getting out of hand.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
If you're looking for a man, say amen.
Amen.
There are some things that I've heard.
It's so embarrassing. Okay, sweetheart. Next. I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central. Coming January 21st.
I'm back. Life has been pretty busy for winter. No more Kevin. Kevin is gone.
Your new song.
To a new hit.
The new song. What is
Listen,
it? Tell me about the song.
It's centered around gutter Barbies.
Gutter Barbie.
Yes.
What's that?
In the midst of my frustrations, I referred to Arena and Ashley as gutter Barbies.
Love and Marriage DC. New episodes Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
Do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? You gonna go back home or not? You gonna claim your throne or not? Is you Khaleesi or that other name I don't remember?
Starting Friday.
You gotta get with it or get lost.
Ready to Love returns with new episodes, followed by the new series All the Single Ladies.
You ladies have decided?
I empathize.
Friday at 8/7 Central. Part of Real Drama Weekends on OWN. It's the end of the day and you're tired. We understand.
Move it!
We're taking over. Adult Swim. Must-have watch TV. Weeknights starting at 8 p.m. We'll keep you company while you do the things you hate.
He told everybody. Please don't let him have hurt somebody.
What did you do first?
My mother.
Why?
Because I wanted her to hear. Evil Lives Here, all new season, Sunday, January 22nd at 9, followed by Signs of a Psychopath, all new season on ID.
Cancel culture ruins everything. It ruins free speech, it ruins honesty, it ruins comedy. We have to just go around and pretend like we don't have any opinions other than what the woke left has, or we'll be canceled. I went to New Orleans and we went to, it's like an old house or something that's now a restaurant. You assume it's gonna be like real Southern food, right? So our waiter told us that it's like Moroccan Thai fusion. Like what the f? Like, see what I mean? Like, why is everyone so woke? I think social media should be a place where everyone should speak freely. As long as they're not threatening to harm someone, why not let all ideas just out there in the open so that people can judge for themselves?
You've been canceled for what? What was the last thing you got canceled about?
It's everything. It's that I talk about being overweight and how it's not healthy. I talk about masks and how I think masks and vaccinations, like the mask thing is stupid. It doesn't work. And like the plexiglass thing, hiding behind a plexiglass, you know, that doesn't work. It's not even true. The standing 6 feet in between everyone. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Why does anybody care what you think about that?
because they watch me and they like me.
But I mean, you don't have any expertise in that, so...
It's common sense. It's common sense. Why can't I share my thoughts on social media? I'm not inciting violence and not be shut down. I'm constantly being shut down.
Well, I don't see a reason why you can't.
But I am all the time.
Well, that's censorship.
Yes.
And that's just...
And I have a small business. So they're trying to affect my business. Even people who don't agree with me, they're like, she's not saying anything that's wrong. So why is she being shut down?
If I disagree, I'd either engage in a dialogue or I would just go to a different page.
Exactly. Don't watch me.
I don't have to stay.
Naturally, cancel me naturally by not watching me, by not supporting me. But that's the thing, like this whole thing with the mobs coming for you, the mobs coming for you to threaten companies, take her down or don't deplatform her. It's not right.
She has 350 million views of these rants. It's over 350 million views.
It's because people like my authenticity. I'm not just like a sheep. Like, why can't we say what we think?
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, you know, COVID is actually a pretty good example because, you know, we all went through a high learning curve with COVID. You know, what was going to work? First, it was, masks weren't going to work. Then they were,
and that's when I started speaking out about everything.
Right. But I think one of the really telling aspects of that was at the end of May last year, you may remember people were being deplatformed, like she's talking about, for speculating that COVID may have been created in in the lab in China,
about what the CDC said.
And people were actively being deplatformed from that.
Well, let me share this with you. In California, Assembly Bill number 2098, Chapter 938, that has been signed into law concerning doctors and information they give to patients, in part says, it shall constitute unprofessional conduct for a physician and surgeon to disseminate misinformation or disinformation related to COVID-19, including false or misleading information regarding the nature and risk of the virus, its prevention and treatment, and the development, safety, and effectiveness of COVID-19 viruses. So if you give information that is at variance with the CDC's current position,
which is always changing,
then you are subject to losing your license to practice medicine.
Yeah.
So a doctor is being told you can't tell your patients what your professional opinion is if it varies with the government's position. And that, to me, is dangerous.
Very dangerous.
All right, we've got to take a break. Thumbs up, okay? Well, no, it's not okay. Did you know some emojis have actually been canceled? You'll be surprised which ones, and I'll be damned if you can tell me why. But we're going to figure it out when we come back. They're on the chopping block next.
When it was time to sign up for a Medicare plan, Mom didn't know which way to turn. But thanks to the Right Plan Promise from United Healthcare, she got a Medicare plan expert to help guide her to the right plan with the right care team behind her.
Wow.
And for her, it's a Medicare plan with the AARP name.
I hope I can keep up.
The Right Plan Promise, only from United Healthcare. Get help finding your plan at uhc.com/Medicare.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Max! No! Max! Max! Max!
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin.
Excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Over 100 million Americans have low or no credit. Self is a new way to build credit. No credit score required. Self customers who start under 600 and make on-time payments see a 49-point bump in their credit score on average. Download the app today.
Does your bank invest for you? I bet it doesn't. Acorn's checking does. It's banking for the growth-minded. Acorns, grow your own. Let the chips fall where they may.
There are some things that I've heard.
I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central.
People gonna talk in D.C.
They're claiming the Samuels are looking to divorce.
I'm back and own that.
And again, and again, and again. Love and Marriage DC returns Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
I was wearing black on Valentine's Day, and it's like, you guys are so have no vibe. Like, what do you think I'm gonna wear? Like pink hearts, pink and red hearts? Like, I'm gonna wear pink and red hearts on Valentine's Day? Like, what are you, dumb? Think I'd wear pink and red hearts on Valentine's Day? You're the same people who go to the nail salon on Christmas, during Christmas, and get like, ho, 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 Santa Claus and like reindeers on your damn nails. If you are not 12 years old, what the are you doing that for? That's embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
Well, Alex did not get deplatformed for posting her opinion on spooky nails, so don't worry about that. All hour long, we've been talking about the rise of everyday Americans fighting against self-censoring their speech on social media and the internet to avoid being canceled. And actually, they're going after emojis now.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? Thumbs up. Anybody have any idea why this one is on the hit list?
The thumbs up can be misinterpreted.
Really?
It's the middle finger in some places.
Oh, really? Oh, it's the international greeting, huh? Okay. Well, the explanation that we found is that while the older generations use it to say okay or I approve, some younger Americans claim it's rude, passive-aggressive, and dismissive. Is that true? Younger generation, is that rude? Man, you got to have a lot of free time to get pissed off about this.
Overthink
everything. Right, red heart. Anybody know why red heart's offensive?
No idea.
Reserved for family and friends, inappropriate for work settings. Using it makes you look old. Well, that's ageist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
You
that.
say that, then that's ageist. So now I'm offended. The okay one, that has a darker meaning, right? Because for some, the Anti-Defamation League, a Jewish civil rights organization, added the 36 symbols to its hate on display database, including the index finger to the thumb sign, that in some corners of the internet has become associated with white supremacy and really far-right groups. So this has some history associated with violence and problems. So that one I got. A check mark. Why is the check mark offensive? Anybody know?
Passive aggressive.
How is it passive aggressive? I don't know. I'm asking.
It could be seen like, all right, good, we're done with this. Like next.
Oh, like done.
Yep, done with you. Okay, next.
What if I'm trying to be passive aggressive though? What if now I can't even express that? Like, what if I'm trying to thumbs up, check march you right out of here?
Yes.
Monkey covering eyes. How is that one offensive?
Because you don't know if someone's like, this is
What
so
are you,
funny.
the emoji girl?
I'm a professor. I work with Gen Z.
You are being very helpful.
Okay.
Stay with me here. Stay with me here. All right, most people use it to express embarrassment in an amusing way or to emphasize that they made a funny mistake. What it actually means is a monkey covering its eyes to say, see no evil, as in the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil proverb. So, again, misuse. Okay, so you were right about that. All right, clapping hands, it can be used sarcastically or passive-aggressively, which you need, right? All right. And it can also be great job or bravo, but nobody cares. Like, great job, who cares? Yeah. Grimacing face can cause awkward conversations from misinterpretation. It usually conveys a wide range of moderately negative emotions, including disapproval, discomfort, and disgust, because its toothy mouth can resemble a grin from a distance. It is also confused with excitement, laughter, or happiness.
It's like the cringe face, right?
A lot of the smiley faces get confusing. So people are just like, that's great instead. Because you don't want people to be confused.
But Professor Sampson, like, just because people miscommunicate, we should remove communication?
Right. Not at all whatsoever.
Like, that sounds like
that's what they
a
want.
you problem, not a us problem.
But to that point, people now are asking when you send an emoji, okay, is that good or bad? Or is this what you meant? And I'm okay with people having that conversation. Like, let's clear this up. What is it that you mean with this thumbs up? What is it that you mean with this smiley face? I spend way too much time.
Right, I agree.
Way too much time. Like, do I use this emoji? Do I not? Do I use this smiley face instead of that smiley face? To the point that I just say, great.
Well, my problem is they're so small I can't see the damn thing. So I have no idea what the hell I'm sending, so I don't use them. I was criticized after our last episode on free speech and cancel culture aired, and guess what? I taped another episode about it and focused on social media this time. People say, no, don't talk about that. Well, I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to keep talking about it. Because you know what happens when I'm talking about it? I'm learning. And that's what I'm here to do, is learn. When I'm learning, I hope you're learning. I hope you learned something today, right? Did you learn something from all this? All right, we'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by
Egypt and Mike are back to business.
Winning.
Balancing project bids.
Offer accepted.
And busy kids.
Here we go.
This team tackles it all.
You can do that.
I can do anything.
Yeah.
Married to Real Estate premieres Thursday at 9 on HGTV.
He fooled everybody. Please don't let him have hurt somebody.
What did you do first? Her mother. Why? Because I wanted her to hear.
Evil Lives Here, all new season, Sunday, January 22nd at 9, followed by Signs of a Psychopath, all new season on ID.
This is our chance. Keep her alive. Say who you can say.
No one's gonna find us, right? Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Run! There's no halfway with this. We finish what we started.
Do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? You gonna go back home or not? You gonna claim your throne or not? Is you Khaleesi or that other name I don't remember?
My active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. Now, Skyrizi helps me get going by treating my skin and joints. Along with significantly clearer skin, Skyrizi helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Skyrizi attaches to and reduces a source of excess inflammation that can lead to skin and joint symptoms. With Skyrizi, 90% clearer skin and less joint pain is possible.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like the feeling of improving my skin and joints. And that means everything. Now's the time to talk to your doctor about how Skyrizi can help treat your psoriatic arthritis so you can get going. Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Let the chips fall where they may.
They just gonna fly. Everybody's dating each other, but everybody knows they're dating each other.
Your directness is getting out of hand.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, well.
If you're looking for a man, say amen.
Amen. There are some things that I've heard.
It's so embarrassing. Okay, sweetheart. Next. I think he's a fraud, and I don't think he's a good person.
It's only gonna get worse. I ain't gonna do this with everybody.
This is too much.
Ready to Love. New episode Friday, 8/7 Central. Coming January 21st.
I'm back. Life has been pretty busy for winter. No more Kevin. Kevin is gone.
Your new song.
A new hit.
The new song. What is
Listen,
it? Tell me about the song.
It's centered around gutter Barbies.
Gutter Barbie.
Yes.
What's that?
In the midst of my frustrations, I referred to Arena and Ashley as gutter Barbies.
Love and Marriage DC. New episodes Saturday, January 21st at 8/7 Central.
I think people misinterpret the First Amendment sometimes because free speech is not something that is guaranteed like on Twitter or places like that. The First Amendment says that the government shall pass no law, and private business can pretty much do what they want to do. You don't have guarantees there, and we just have to fight for the things that we want to fight for. And I really hate that 62% of people say that they're self-censoring. You know, I think it's really important sometimes to think about whether the things you're saying to yourself and to others are really rational. Are they in your best interest to say? And we're really divided right now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
This country has a lot of divisiveness going on. And that's why I say I think we should have a counsel culture instead of a cancel culture. It would take so little effort sometimes to just reach out to somebody and say, hey, you know, you might want to think about this or think about that. And, you know, do what you want to do. But I just wanted to reach out to you.
If one side is always being silenced and the other side is not always being silenced, that's the problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You can't be intimidated, and 62% of people are intimidated.
Because they're afraid of being canceled. They're afraid of losing their Instagram account. So they don't say anything.
My committee, well, the schools committee told me to remove what I thought they would find offensive. Yeah. So I was having to self-censor in that regard as well.
Yeah, so now you get to guess at what it is that they want. Yeah, that's fair.
I had no idea what was offensive to them.
You got a year and a half to go, so.
Yeah, May 2023.
Yeah, hang in there. All right, look, we're done for today, but I know this is a hot topic, and so many of you are going to have opinions about it. Let's take this conversation over to my Facebook page, YouTube, or drphil.com. So we'll see you over there in a few minutes. If you have some things that you want to say, you know where to find me. On my social media accounts, you can weigh in and let me know what you think. I want to thank all of my guests today. For more information about this topic or episode, you can go to drphil.com. And like I say, add your voice on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, because I do get a lot of comments there, and I do respond to those things. If you're in the LA area or you plan to be, we'd love to have you in the audience. You can join us here. Just go to drphil.com, click on Be in the Audience for all the details. Now, the new season of my podcast, Mystery and Murder, is on right now. Episodes 1 through 3 are available now. I'm doing a really deep dive on the case of Sherry Papini, Supermom Missing. You can check it out for free on all podcast platforms. Also, check out Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret with Robin McGraw, where she swaps secrets with thought leaders, innovators, and friends, and really gets into the secrets of their success and how they did the things that they did. You can find them both on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Uh-oh. They tell me they found an emoji that has not been canceled. Oh, my God. That is an actual emoji.
It is.
Oh my God.
It's a Phil emoticon.
That's so funny.
Yeah. My grandkids will love it. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Thanks,